were we on the same wavelength? I was randomly thinking of boobs.
Now we're talking.
Hello, friends.
Hey, friends.
And welcome to Pickles and Vodka, the mental health podcast where we're all just big kids at heart. I'm one of your co-hosts, Lauren.
And I'm your other co-host, Christina. This is episode 222.
Oh.
You can be the judge of what that means.
I know that was the number on my very first car's license plate.
222?
Yep. So I had a thing with license plates, and I still kind of do, where if I can, like, make them be, like, a little phrase or word or something, then I would do it. And so my first license plate was RRK 222, and so I said my car was Rick and he was 1/3 Satan.
Wait. Oh, I get it. Yeah. I'm not so good at math, remember?
I was like, I'll give you a second.
I thought you didn't like vanity plates.
That's not a vanity plate. That was just the license plate I got.
Oh, and you gave it meaning. I see.
Yes.
Okay. That's funny. Lauren, where are you at?
Yeah, let's just get into it.
Enough fucking around. That's not what people come here for.
Right. I feel like, I realized as I'm thinking about this today, the meme of the dog sitting in the room on fire, and all the fire is my brain. Because I recognize that I have, like, outside, like, stressful things. It's, like, obviously lots of job stuff, and especially at the end of the year, it gets worse, and, like, had some, like, on and off relationship stress, and my family's always a mediocre source of stress at best. But it doesn't feel like I should feel like, from my brain, I should not feel totally like I'm about to free fall off the edge because of it. It feels like in the past, this would have been handleable, and it should be handleable. So because of that, I don't feel okay mentally, but I'm just trying to be like the dog. I'm like, no, everything's fine. I'm fine. We're fine. I feel like I'm barely holding things together, but I think that that's not the right response, or I don't know.
Are you saying that, like, the circumstances don't warrant the amount of emotions you're having or the amount you're struggling? Like, more it could be worse?
More like I feel like I'm trying to project what I feel like would be my normal response in situations like this, but internally I'm like, but I actually feel like I'm going to just collapse in a hole and die.
That's rough.
Which really made me think back to a previous conversation that we recently had, which is like, maybe I need to try to get back on meds.
Are you on any right now at all?
No, I haven't been for over a year.
Why did you stop?
Mostly because I think when I last got out of treatment, which was a little over 2 years ago at this point, then I didn't really have I hadn't had anything set up when I went in as far as, like, a doctor, a psychologist, anything like that. And I know when I came out, then everything had changed with the therapist from when I went in, so I couldn't afford her anymore. So, I really didn't have much when I came out. And I think I just, first did the thing we've talked about, like, post coming out of a situation like that, where you're just like, I just gotta rush and get back into life. I don't have time to worry about things like my health. I'm supposed to be fine now. And then after that, like, went through more of, like, a depression period where it's just kind of like, ugh, this all sounds too hard. Like, God, I gotta find a new doctor. Gross. And then things got a little better and didn't think that you, like, needed it. And then obviously things, like, really got bad. And so, yeah, it's just, it hasn't felt like something that I'm capable of adding onto my day when my day is surviving.
You mean,
like, the responsibility of, like, trying to set that kind of stuff up.
Got it. Yeah, the life admin types, like executive functioning type stuff.
Yeah. We've talked in the past about, some other things like that, like how long it took me to get my plates registered on my car and stressing out about that because it just felt like there's so much I got to do and that's an extra thing I have to fit in. So this is the same sort of thing. It's kind of like when I think of it in my head, it's like, who knows if you do, like, set up with a psychologist or something, that might end up making you feel better. Or hell, maybe there's some physical thing that, like, if I got in and got a blood test, they'd be like, well, this is all off and, we can get you on this and you'll feel better. But
well, there's not going to be one thing that answers all your questions. I feel like each new thing is a little piece of the puzzle. Well, and there's a big piece we haven't talked about. You kind of mentioned meds, but I really think you should keep pursuing the ADHD diagnosis and possibly getting medicated for that. Because, remember when I was trying to get diagnosed and I thought it would kind of fix all my problems? It didn't. But I will say I can do way more now than I could before. And it's just been really good for me. And it took a year of fiddling with dosages. But you've been talking about that forever. And I really see when you describe being in free fall, I don't know, that's a familiar feeling.
Yeah. And maybe I will start getting more inspired on that because the old therapist who I'm back with, she's the first person that put that ADHD idea on my radar at all, where, she's the one that was have you ever been diagnosed? I'm like, no. And she's like, okay, because you fit it exactly.
Yeah, no shit. But yeah, I don't think it would solve all your problems, obviously, but it could help a lot. If you're talking about meds anyway.
Yeah, and that is something I've thought, off and on as well, where it's just kind of okay, learning that, this is probably the case, then yes, that means also I can take in knowledge, as a person not on meds, what are some tricks that I can do to try and make my life easier, knowing this is how my brain works. But yeah, still think but also that could be another big boost.
Also, you did mention the external stressors, but a lot of times you kind of put it on yourself to improve the situation or to change the situation, how you can be better, what things you can do. And that's partly because that's all you have in your control is your, what you can do. True. But there's some problems and stressors that are just way beyond your control. The dog thing, nothing you could do will make that better. And that's an extreme example, but I don't know. Does that resonate at all?
It does. And I was actually excited when you were starting because I feel like I've had to try and lay some truth bombs like this on you recently. And I was like, oh, good. She's going to do it to me. But you're not wrong. So, yeah.
Yeah. You do so much alone. And especially when you consider the difficulty with executive functioning, making appointments and stuff. I know that's easier said than done. My therapist thinks I have OCD.
Okay, I think you've mentioned that a few times.
Yeah, so we're kind of in the same boat there. It's you don't really know where to go from there. I did tell my therapist next time I saw my psychiatrist, I would bring it up. And in the meantime, they told me to start noting all of my thought spirals, obsessive thoughts. So yeah, not to totally draw the attention away from you, tangent over, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else I have to say. So where are you at?
Do you want me to just give you the 3 notes that I gave my therapist this week?
Perfect.
All right. The first is, well, I'll just say them all at once. Writing news, addiction, boobs.
Okay.
So, writing news, I got published in an online magazine this week, and it was paid, and that's the first time I've ever done anything like that. And so it felt really good. And then someone else reached out to me to submit a different essay to this eating disordered anthology. That's all I'll say about it for now. But yeah, things are happening this week that are making me feel good about myself, which is weird. I'm still not doing the greatest. And there's I don't really see that many reasons. Well, now I'm doing exactly what you're doing.
I was just going to say, so kind of like what I was saying.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I went on a walk today and I pulled on my leggings and there was dried vomit on the leggings. That's where I'm at. But I don't know. There is no but. I feel like I always have to make excuses for why I'm doing badly. But sometimes you're just doing badly. And I don't even have to talk about it, but I want to because I think it's important, but also I don't need to make an excuse for myself.
Yeah, sometimes that's just how life goes.
Yeah.
unfortunately. You can't plan for it. You can't say like, well, I can schedule a breakdown right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't even consider it a breakdown. Like, it's just my addictions have slowly woven their way back into my everyday life in a really like insidious way where it's not blowing up. It's quote unquote manageable.
Right.
Oh, my sister's letting in the cat. Oh, God. Dang, come on in. Oh my God, it's Ruby and she refuses to. In there. We almost made it one episode, guys. Okay, yeah, and then related to that, I feel like my body dysmorphia has been so much worse lately. Like, we all know that as we age, our bodies change, and methods of losing weight that I had in the past don't work anymore. And not only that, but like, I feel like weight just redistributes too.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree completely.
I'm saying this like it's a totally new thing, but you're like, yeah, no shit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've gone through the same thing, so it's not a hot take, but it's also, like I've been in the same position multiple times in the past several years where it's just kind of like, huh? Why is this like this?
Yeah, and my boobs have been bothering me in particular.
Okay.
It's so uncomfortable, and it intersects with the gender stuff too. I don't really know how much I've talked about that on here, but I don't feel like a woman, and my boobs have always made me uncomfortable. I felt like almost it was like a costume that attracted attention. I wish I could just like take it off at the end of the day, but I can't.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry. Now he wants to go outside. Are you fucking kidding me?
Of course.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. I've never experienced like the gender questioning or anything like that, but I do know I have never been a fan of my boobs. So, I mean,
we've talked about this.
Yeah, I'm like, that's just like too feminine or something somehow. And what's funny about it is this is making me think of this random thought I had, which is actually what spurred on my whole topic suggestion.
Oh, goody. Good segue.
Yes. I was thinking of being a kid, because, I don't know, were we on the same wavelength? I was randomly thinking of boobs.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. No, but
I was thinking of being a kid and playing with Barbies.
I thought you were going to say playing with boobs.
I did not play with boobs when I was a kid.
Sorry. Barbies.
Yes. Because what I was thinking is thinking like, it's not, like I want to look like a boy or anything like that ever. It was like, I was fine with having like the basics, I guess, of a woman's shape, but I didn't want them big. So I was thinking, being a kid playing with Barbies, and I remembered they came out with like the original Skipper for Barbie was supposed to be a child. I mean, she had zero chest. But when I was a kid, they came out with one that was supposed to be like a teen or preteen. Like, I think the idea is she's supposed to be, kind of aiming for like 13 years old or so. And I got that one. She was a little taller than the original, and she had just tiny little boobs. And I remember she was my favorite Barbie.
And that's what I realized. I was thinking of
playing with them. I was like, yeah, because that would be my ideal. Is it's like she's still kind of shaped like a child, but she has
just enough, that she's shaped like a woman.
You used the word feminine earlier. You were like, I don't want it to be too feminine. Gender is not boy or girl. You know this.
Oh yeah,
it's so broad, and
but I don't know. If
I used like, even as I was saying that, I was like, I'm not sure if that's the right description. It's more like
I resonated with it though.
Because there's all different types of women, and I think that is what it's like. I didn't want to be, like pinup model type. That was the thing that like turns me off.
Interesting. So tell the listeners what topic you picked for today.
So thinking of playing with my Barbies, I asked Christina, said, can we just tell a bunch of stories from when we were younger? And I mean, I have ones going from like baby to teenager, and just kind of tell these random stories and I'm sure as we talk about them, we will figure out like how they kind of like relate to maybe our current mental health or what our clear trajectory was growing up, even though we maybe didn't realize that when we were like 5 or 10 or whatever this was happening to us.
Yeah, you used the word clue, I think. Like, were there any clues to how we would turn out?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I have 3 stories. I don't know about you.
I have a bunch. I did tease that I said I was willing to share one that is quite, I don't know what I said to you. It will definitely require a trigger warning. Dark, I think I said.
We don't talk about dark shit on here.
Oh, no. It's great.
This is the Pickles and Vodka and Positivity podcast. But yeah, tell your story.
Okay. So, my family vacationed for a few years in Tennessee. I think what it was is my dad, the place he worked for, had like a timeshare there. So, because we had no money still, and that's how we could do something like that. And it was like a chalet, like ski lodge type place in the mountains in Tennessee. And the first year that we're doing it, then my parents are talking about it, and they're trying to figure out, you know, like when we can go, if we can go, how we'll get there, all this kind of stuff. They've been talking about it for weeks, and the thing is they've never said a word about it to me. They've talked about it like in the next room where they know I can hear them, but they've never said anything, you know, like we're talking about going on this vacation or anything like that. So this is one of those things, my family has a lot of them, where I'm like, they seem to think this is this funny, hilarious story, but I know my thinking behind it, because finally, like, less than a week before we're leaving, then they actually say something, and it's like, yeah, we're going to be going on a vacation in Tennessee. We're going to be there for a week. And they said that I just go, we are? And they think that this is hilarious because, like, how can their little girl be so completely clueless? And I'm like, no, it's because I heard you talking about it all the time. You never said a word to me, but you taught me how to be polite. So I had to pretend like I had no clue you're talking about this, because I can't say like I was listening in on all your conversations.
Oh, God. That's...
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
That tells me that you were good at masking from an early age.
Yes.
In what ways do you think that gave clues to who you would be? Like, how do you relate to that now?
For one thing, I find it kind of sad that this means, did they not even realize that they never, like, I don't know, I think I was like 9 or 10, like, you don't say something to your 9-year-old daughter? They realized they never had a conversation about this with me. It's like, talk about feeling invisible.
Oh, man. That is sad.
Yeah.
And also, they didn't know you well enough to distinguish, like, a real emotion from a fake emotion.
Because they just thought, you know, like, that was just, like, the funniest thing. And I felt like I had to defend myself because I'm like, no, I feel like I sound clueless and stupid in this story. Like, here's why I said it. But they don't pay attention to that part. It's like they like the story they invented in their head, which, again, is
just...
You know what? I'm
being heard.
I feel like that kind of mirrors the situation at your job. Because you kind of feel like on the fringes of like the social groups and stuff. And I know your boss has before not been the best at communicating with you. I don't know. It just popped into my head.
Yeah, that is pretty similar, except they're more likely to, like, pull people into rooms and have meetings about things and then, yeah, like, expect me to, like, pay for this stuff they decided all of a sudden. So I legit don't know, usually, in these cases. They come back and they're like, Lauren, can you cut this check for blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, we're doing what now? But yeah, other than that, there are a lot of similarities. I see that.
Yeah, I was really excited when you brought up that topic. Because I was like, man, I should have a ton of stories. And then I actually really struggled to come up with any. I keep all of my old photos. Like, I have been made the keeper of all our family's old photos from, like, the 70s up. And I've organized them all over the last couple of years. So that has actually helped me a lot with memory. But the stories that I have today have no pictures to go along with them. They're just so traumatic that they burn themselves into my brain.
Okay.
The first one, so do you know what Awana is?
I've heard the name, I think.
Well, It's a children's program that is totally centered around memorizing Bible verses, and you get like little pins and ribbons for completing Bible verses.
Okay.
And there's songs, and that's basically it. And they're all divided into groups. Like, it doesn't matter. They all had fishing themed names because Jesus was the fisher of men.
Okay.
So my age group, I was like 5 years old or something, maybe 6. We were the chums. And every month, one kid was chosen as the chum of the month. I don't know how they arrived at that. Like, maybe it was the one who was most behaved, or I don't fucking know. But they called my name one week. They were like, the chum of the month is Christina Jumper. And I started immediately bawling. Like,
Oh, no.
I was so mortified. They made me go up on the stage to accept this little trophy, and I was crying in the pictures.
Oh.
I feel like I'm still kind of like that. Obviously, I don't cry anymore, but I don't like attention on me. I get really uncomfortable.
You'd still have the same feeling in your stomach if that happened or something like that, right?
Yeah, I just like start breaking out into sweat. But also, like, it's weird because I want attention, but also when people give me attention, I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah, not familiar with that feeling at all.
What's your next story?
So, when I was in 7th grade, and I think I've probably brought this up before, I was watching a high school track meet with my friend. I went home early and got hit by a car on my bike.
Oh my god! You've never mentioned this on the podcast.
I wasn't sure, because I never think of it as related to, like, mental health. It's just a scary thing that happened to me.
Yeah, because we never go on tangents here.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, so that happened. My parents had wanted me to come home. I think they wanted me to, like, be home for dinner or something like that. So I know I had to leave early as part of it. The track meet wasn't over, and the high school was practically, like, in my backyard. It was, you know, maybe, like, a mile bike ride or so. And so I go to leave, and it's right at a spot where it goes from residential to, like, backcountry roads. So it is right at a spot where people are speeding up 25 to 45. I probably, like, misjudged where this car was, and also see them, you know, like, think they're going slow, and they're speeding up and watching the track meet instead of in front of them. So, yeah, I got hit by a car on my bike, flew over the handlebars, knocked unconscious.
Lauren!
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's like exactly what happened to me in my accident.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally the same thing. That's so crazy.
Forgot about that.
But I can't believe I didn't hear about this yet. This is crazy. What? Like, what happened?
Like, do I even know you? No.
Were you okay? No.
I was. Well, I mean, this is something I think back later, because all that happened is my head got all scraped up, head wounds, like even like superficial cuts will like bleed a ton. And I remember I just like sat up and my lap was filled with blood. So that was scary. But, you know, they took me to the hospital, and my mom said that they wanted to keep me overnight because they felt like I wasn't really like answering their questions. I mean, she was going to totally let them keep me overnight, but she also knows that, especially like with authority figures and stuff, that like I could be like really quiet and mumble answers and things. So she figured like that could have been happening, but I did not want to stay overnight. So she says, like, as soon as I heard, you know, that they were telling her, like, we think we're going to keep her overnight because, you know, she doesn't seem to have like total memory of questions we're asking. She said I sat up and immediately was like, what do you want to know?
Tell me.
You were what, like 12 or 13?
Yeah. But I do think later, because I remember like the excruciating headaches the next couple days, and I was just like, yeah, it could have actually been a concussion.
Why didn't you want to stay overnight?
I'd grown up with my parents telling me that I'm never sick and even taking me to a doctor. I'd never been in a hospital. But so the point of the story is that I guess that happened on a Wednesday. So, you know, my mom's like, well, I'm definitely like keeping you out of school the rest of the week. But I had a dance recital that was Friday and Saturday. And that's all we do in dance class is we prepare for this end recital, and, you know, and you get your costumes and you get pictures taken, and it's all just leading up to this end performance. So I knew, you know, like I wasn't feeling great. but I was like, I really want to dance in the recital still. And my mom says, like, well, we'll take you there. And I was in 2 dances, and then you're supposed to all stay and dance in the finale. And she's like, I'll take you there, and like, you can do your 2 numbers, but we're not staying. It's a 4-hour show. I'm going to take you home immediately after. And I was like, okay, that's a good compromise. But I find out later there is a girl that was in my junior high that was in that class, and she's apparently running around telling everybody afterwards that it's just like, well, Lauren still came to the dance recital, and yet she couldn't go to school. So I don't know. I don't think anything is really that bad. And she's just like faking it.
What a little snot.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck?
I know. And I'm thinking, like, I remember sitting in the back room at that dance recital, like, between the numbers, and yeah, like, one of the worst headaches I've ever had. And, just like, all little girls are usually, like, running around backstage and playing games and having fun, and I'm just sitting there, like, I just want to get somewhere as quiet as possible, do this last number, and then we can leave.
Ooh, yeah, you're not at all like that now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, ignoring your needs.
I feel like that's where a lot of that stuff comes from as an adult, is because I've had people, if I even try, just like dismiss it so much. It must not be that bad because she was here. She just didn't want to go to school.
Oh, I hate thinking of you dancing with a fucking concussion.
Uh-huh.
It's funny that you mentioned blood, because my next story has to do with blood.
Oh, okay.
So, this happened when I was in like 3rd grade. It was my first time at a sleepaway camp. It was this Christian summer camp for military families. Mm-hmm. OCF was the organization, Officers Christian Fellowship. We would do activities at that camp like every year for like 10 years of my life. So I have a lot of strong connections to this place. But anyway, this was my first time, and I was so scared and so shy. And at that time, I mean, I've always gotten nosebleeds my whole life. Mm-hmm. It's just something. I've had to go to the hospital to get it cauterized before. Like, they're really bad.
Oh, wow.
Like, even today, I have to put like Vaseline in my nose, or like it gets dry and like I'll start gushing blood. But yeah, that night, I woke up with a nosebleed in the middle of the woods in my sleeping bag. And my counselor is like not too far away, also in a sleeping bag. But I don't want to wake them up, because I'm so shy. I don't want the attention, and I don't want to inconvenience someone. So I take the pink bandana off of my head and I stuff it in my nose, and then I lie down on my back and try to fall asleep. When I woke up the next morning, blood had been running down my throat all night, and so I could barely talk. And the counselor saw my bandana all covered in blood, and she was like, "Oh my God, why didn't you wake us up?" And I felt so stupid. But like, I still have that fear of like inconveniencing people, even when I'm having an emergency.
I was like, well, I mean, I'm glad someone, actually did seem to care when they found out, but people don't understand, like the lengths that some of us will go to feel like I can't be a burden.
And that's not the only time that happened at that camp. And the other example has to do with blood too, actually. I was a teenager this time. I was doing the teenager program.
Wait, how old were you the first time?
The first time I was probably like 10. Second time I was like 15 or 16. Okay. And so for the teenagers, it was more like an adventure camp. So you did things like horseback riding and rock climbing and whitewater rafting. So I got my period, and I didn't have any pads. Up till that point, I had never used a tampon. And one of the counselors gave me one, and I was too afraid to tell her that I didn't know how to use it. And so I just stuck the whole thing up there with the plastic applicator and everything. And then we went whitewater rafting, and it popped out.
Oh my God.
And years later, my sister Caroline told me she had a similar story from that same time, and we never told each other because she was at the camp with me. Yeah, that was traumatic. Yeah. Anyway.
Did you
not use one again for a long time?
Not for a while.
Yeah,
I would be like, I never want to do this again.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I want to change the subject now. Lauren, give me another story.
Okay. I know I said this in the beginning, and then I'm debating because I feel like mine have all been so sad, and this is going to be the really dark one. I don't think I've ever shared this particular one, but it does get a sexual assault warning. The first thing I was thinking of hanging out with my cousin. She was 2 years younger than me, but she had always, like, more freedom, and as soon as, she became, like, 13 or so, and probably not even that, probably as soon as she was, like, 11, then she suddenly went to, like, total tomboy to kind of still tomboy, but very much boy crazy, and, just wanted to grow up fast and everything, and because, like, we've talked about my kind of town growing up and everything, and I just was a pariah, it was just determined that's going to be me for the rest of my life there, no matter anything that changed. So it's like, I'm hanging out with her, and she's probably like 12, and maybe I'm like 14, and this is kind of like around where I recognize I'm starting to lose any like awkward, weird looking stuff that I probably had going on in junior high, and just starting to look more, I would say just kind of like classically attractive, but no one in my town's going to notice, but I go visit her and she's hanging out with all these boys, and I'm suddenly getting so much male attention. And like some of it, then I think of like when I'm 14, I remember like being fun. It was like I remember hanging out with her and a couple of her guy friends, and one of them was clearly like interested in me or attracted to me or whatever, but we're too young to actually like say anything like that. And I just remember us like walking down a street, and he like comes up behind me at one point and like picks me up pretty much like by my legs, and and I'm just like, yay, like I'm like floating above the street and everything, but guys are paying attention to me. But then I was reminded of the time when I was I either just turned 16 or I just turned 17. I hope that I just turned 17, because either way, my cousin, is 2 years younger than me, and at this point, she has a boyfriend who is an adult. I mean, he's like 19 or so, and living with his friend who's, I think, a couple years older than that. They're living on their own. She is, clearly having sex with her boyfriend and everything, and she wants to go see him when I'm visiting, and we convinced my aunt to let me drive her big old 80s van. I mean, I barely know how to drive at this point, but she, finally agreed. I mean, this is the very small town I was born in, so it had to be, like, not busy streets at all, probably not that far away. But I'd also, like, the scariest thing to me is I'm driving this huge-ass van. I don't know how to do that. Feels like driving a bus to me.
But you get there.
But we get there.
And we're all talking for a minute, and then my cousin grabs her boyfriend, and they go upstairs to his room. And they shut the door, and they are clearly, like, up there doing their thing. And she just leaves me downstairs with this guy's friend, and it's very awkward. And he tries to give me a drink, and I mean, I'm driving a big, scary van, so I know I said no. And I find him kind of disgusting, but he's, I don't know what else to do while I'm waiting down there. And he's like, I wish that I could kiss you, and I wish I could do this and all this kind of stuff.
Oh,
it got
my God.
so annoying that I finally thought, like, look, I'm not going to enjoy this, but I'm never going to see this person again. If I say, yeah, you can kiss me, then maybe he'll shut up and my cousin will come down and we can leave. And he did, and then he stuck his hand down my pants.
Oh, that's horrifying.
First time of
anything like that, and, I didn't even know that was a thing guys did.
So,
that is the first sexual assault memory that I have, sharing that here for the first time. And, yeah, it just kind of makes me think, like, the situation with my cousin, because that's what I remember feeling so much the whole time there, is it's like, she just up and left to get what she wants, and she doesn't think, like, I don't even know this person, this is awkward, I don't like him, and so just feeling like everyone is out for their own needs, and mine never matter.
That's horrifying.
Uh-huh. Like I said, maybe I was 17.
Oh.
And I think it was something even, which makes sense, that I just kind of blocked out of my memory. It's like I never, like, not purposefully or not as in, like total like amnesia, but it was just kind of like I pushed it away and didn't think about it and continued to successfully not think about it until, probably a good like 10 years later or whatever. And then I remembered like, oh yeah, that was a thing that happened. That was really fucked up.
I mean, obviously that kind of thing, especially if it's your first experience like that, it kind of gets baked into your DNA. And like, I feel like you can try to forget it, but that trauma becomes like part of your body.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, how would you say that affected your relationship with sexuality? If at all. I mean,
I'm not sure because I know like I was always kind of scared of it in general. So, I mean, if anything, it might have just like cemented my idea. Like, oh, like I thought all these things I had to be scared of, but also this, like, dude, sex is just scary.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, yeah, I can see how that would just reinforce what you already were feeling about sex. And yeah, like, what chance do you have after something like that? Hearing stuff like that makes me so angry because, I mean, I'm only just now starting to unpack the effects of my childhood on my sexuality. And, like, some sex positivity would have been so nice. Like, it would, God.
Like, I feel like we got similar messages, but you got them to the extreme. Like, I got a lot of just kind of like, we just don't talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, I've told the story of how I thought masturbating gave you stretch marks. And that's how little I knew about sex. I didn't have any sexual experiences until I was like 18, 19, but I would get crushes on boys. I would always play outdoor sports and like games, like at church. After the service, everyone would like play capture the flag or like basketball or whatever. And that's how I made guy friends. I remember going to my brother's Boy Scout meeting, and there was this kid that like challenged me to a race. And when I got home, I just started writing his name in my journal over and over again.
Oh,
I don't know. I think I just wanted like an adventure buddy.
As we're talking about this too, I'm realizing like when I was in high school, I feel like the boys that I got crushes on would be the more like feminine boys. And I think that's interesting because I wonder if my brain saw that as safer.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Because I'd kind of known that, but I always thought it was more like a judgment on my own body because I thought like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm going for a lot of these guys that are, like really tall and thin. I'm like, of course, because that's what I valued. But now I'm like, that makes a lot of sense too, though, that it's just kind of like they seem non-threatening.
Yeah. As you were saying that, I was thinking how my close female friendships I've always had this kind of awkwardness. And now I know it's because I'm queer, but like, I don't know, other girls, they didn't just intimidate me. I just felt like if I became friends with a girl, I would be like obsessed with her and I would feel hurt if she didn't want to hang out with me more than anyone else. And like, I just wanted a best friend who wanted to pick me first and like wanted to hang out with only me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of creepy. But
it's not, though.
There was this one girl, we were in Connecticut, I think I was like 9, and we had to move because my dad was in the military, and we promised to write each other letters, and our code phrase was Secret Sisters, and she would write SS on the envelopes for Secret Sister, but now I'm like, oh no, SS. That's awkward. I don't really have any more stories. I mean, I'm sure I could come up with more. But
I did have a funny one to end on. I mean, we probably could, like still dissect it, but I really think it's actually pretty innocent. And this came from a picture that I've seen, which is probably like 4 years oldish. A lot of my friends were because like my mom's friends had kids that were around my age. And so, this was maybe I was 5 and she was 4 because I know she was a little younger than me. So, like my mom's friends visiting, brings her daughter over, and somehow we got it in our head. We both had baby dolls. Well, I think we started grabbing anything, and that we just were going to have babies.
Oh, yeah. I did that too.
We had so many babies that day. That's what I think is funny is my mom
tells this story because she was there and she's just like, you guys just kept walking into the room, being like, oh, I'm pregnant again. You'd have a Care Bear or a doll stuffed under your shirt.
Dude, I have a picture of me trying to nurse one of my stuffed animals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, I feel like, yeah, I'll find it somehow.
I wish I had the one of us both with dolls stuffed under our shirts. I'd give you that one.
And then we could...
Yeah, give me whatever you have, if anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel kind of sad now for my past self, but also I'm like, wow, I was such a freak.
Yeah, but I have some understanding, too, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like talking through some of that. It's like, well, no shit things went how they did. The groundwork was there. It's
so easy to see in retrospect. I think I'm also wary of blaming, like we were talking last week about living in the past. Sometimes I'm worried that I don't want to blame everything on the past. But then on the opposite of that, I tend to like dismiss very serious things that happened. So.
Yeah. And I think there is a difference between saying like, I am like this because my parents did this versus saying like, because my parents did this, my brain started interpreting things this way, which led to this.
Something like that.
That's good. I bet my mom would like that.
Oh. Hi, Ginger Lou.
I don't even know if she listens anymore.
Yeah,
she still reads my Substack, even though I've told her not to. Oh. She's like, oh, it just happened to pop up in my email. I'm like, yeah, because you're subscribed.
Right. It doesn't just happen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was fun. I don't know what we'll do next week.
Did you say that was fun? Actually, that was a fun, and then
I said that was fun. I just said that was fun.
Okay. When I was waiting, I was like, fun walk down memory lane.
It's a fun podcast. Every episode's fun with you.
Of course it is. Aww.
Yeah. I feel like you've picked a few topics and you've been doing most of the work in that area. I feel like it's my turn.
To be fair, you do all the work in editing 100% of the time. So there is that.
It's almost like we bring different things to the table and we complement each other.
But yeah, I welcome your ideas. I feel like I'd like to hear what you want to talk about.
All right, I'll put it out here. I'm going to come up with a topic. And hopefully everyone is okay. Look up some of your old baby pictures if it's not too traumatizing. Send us your stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you resonate with anything we said or whatever. We haven't heard from anyone in a while.
Oh, yeah. And you can always suggest topics for us, too. You take those listener topics. That's
Please. Cool. I don't care how stupid they sound.
Yeah.
And on that note, goodbye.
Goodbye.
If you like what you heard, tell a friend about the podcast. You can send them to picklesandvodka.substack.com, where they can listen to our entire catalog and find our newest merch. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us a voice message at speakpipe.com/picklesandvodka. My personal Instagram is at xtinajumper, and Lauren's is at Lauren3_AFH. We'll see you next week.